ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೆ Namaskara, friends. My topic of this subject is alternative way of energy usage in various applications. So, alternative energy sources. What is alternative energy sources? Alternative energy is any energy source that is an alternative to fossil fuel. Every day, the world produces carbon dioxide that is released to the Earth's atmosphere and which will still be there in 100 years' time. This increased content of carbon dioxide increases the warmth of our planet and is the main cause of the so-called global warming effect. One answer to global warming is to replace and retrofit current technologies with alternatives that have uh, comparably good performance but do not emit carbon dioxide. In a general sense, alternative energy as it is currently conceived is that which is produced or recovered without the undesirable consequences inherited in fossil fuel use. Particularly high carbon dioxide emissions, an important factor is global warming. Uh, there are various research conducted on this alternative energy sources. So this research shows that the British Petroleum and Royal Dutch Shell, two of the world's largest oil companies, say that by 2050, one third of the world's energy will need to come from solar, wind, and other renewable resources. Climate change, population growth, and fossil fuel depletion mean that renewables will need to play a bigger role in the future than they do today. Thermal power, solar thermal or heat energy is a carbon-free renewable alternative to the power we generate with fossil fuels like coal and gas. Solar water heating, known as solar thermal system, captures the free heat from the sun and uses it up to heat the water. It can be cost uh, effective way to generate hot water for your home. They can be used in any climate, they and the sunshine is free, of course. Solar energy is solar power. So solar energy is used commonly for heating, cooking, the production of electricity, and even in this desalination of seawater. Solar heat has long been employed in passively and actively heated buildings, as well as district heating systems. The obstacles preventing the large scale implementation of solar powered energy generation is the inefficiency of current solar technology and the cost. Currently, photovoltaic panels only have the ability to convert around 16% of the sunlight that hits them into the electricity. Wind power. Rural communities often do not have access to the national grid. Wind-powered microgrids are suited to the low-density rural areas and can be effective in meeting local social and economic needs. Wind energy is the generation of electricity from the wind. Wind power plants have been set up in locations where the wind velocity is high. These areas receive less rainfall compared to other parts of the country. Rainfall accompanied by wind in these areas will not affect electricity generation. In the event these areas experience heavy rain, power generation will decline if heavy rain continues. There will be drop in electricity generation. So wind power, the research on wind power gives us these outcomes. Wind energy research dates back several decades to the 1970s when NASA developed an analytical model to predict wind turbine power generation during high winds. Today, many countries have implemented them. So, coming to hydropower, the process of hydropower is being shown in this particular slide. an intake there is a intake which the function of it is to it diverts the flow from water course penstock pipe to convey the water to the turbine powerhouse, in which the turbine and generator convert the water's energy into the electricity outflow, through which the water is released back to the river or stream, the whichever stream it has come from. Underground cables or overhead lines to transmit the electricity to its point of use. These must be short enough to minimize voltage drop. So you can see the diagram of hydropower plant, which is used to uh, produce electricity. So going to the next slide, hydropower, and it's a last slide of this presentation. You can see this hydro electric power comes from the potential energy of dammed water driving a water turbine and generator. Another variation is to make use of water's kinetic energy or undammed source such as tidal power. So by this slide, you can get notified that the kinetic energy of water is being used in order to produce electricity. So there will be, it is a very essential that it is not a stagnant water. It is the moving water or the energy, the kinetic energy of the water, which produces the electricity. So in this way, we are going to summarize the complete uh, alternative sources of energy which we must use in order to sustain or may sustain the like fossil fuels, make it sustainable, and by using this we will we'll produce less carbon dioxide, and we will be able to reduce the global warming. Thank you.